of the project. All right. Never assume people know what to do. Let your communication be completely clear, no ambiguity. Never assume that, oh, I thought you know what you were going to do. So long as you are working with a team, always ensure that you are staying. Now, for instance, let me go back to what the story I was talking about. Now, for that project, I have a book here with me where I did everything concerning that project. This was a detailed plan. This is where I'm reading to you currently now is budget. So for the budget, I mentioned even the sources. What are the sources of the budget? I said working youth, 3,000 naira each. Non-working youths, 1,500 naira each as their levy. Monthly ESCO's contribution. Then, with estimated calculation, the budget for the youth week 2020. So the projected subtotal that time was this. Working youths would pay 57,000 naira, and there were 19 working youths then in my team. All right, the people that I was leading. Then there were over 27 non-working youths, and their total they will amount up to 40,500. This in detailed, everything detailed. All right, must be detailed in order for you to get the result that you're looking for. So we now said the total budget is 97,500. No, the total money we are expecting from the youths is 97,500 naira. Then the obligatory monthly contribution 53,400 naira. The total 150,900. It was stated there so that we have a clear picture of what we are looking at. I wish I could have put this in the slide so that you will see, but if you are still hearing me, please let me know.
I can hear you from my end.
We can hear you, sir. So we can hear you.
You're still hearing me, let me know. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. We can hear you, sir. We can't see your screen again, sir.
Okay, I was taken out of the meeting. So let me start sharing my screen again. I don't know what's happening with the network. Okay. Can you see it now? Can you see it now?
Yes, we can.
Can
We
you see-
can.
Of course, you can see it.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, so that was the financial outplay as it had played there. Then another thing that I also did again in that project, I'm trying to flip through the pages now. Committees, we raised committees. That's where teams come in for the requirement for any successful project. You must ensure that the team, like we mentioned here, involve your team, giving every team member clear communication as to the role they play and its importance to the success of the project. Never assume people know what to do. Let your communication be completely clear, no ambiguity. So what do we mean by all this that we've just mentioned here? Ensure that people understand that this small thing that you are about to do, if you don't do it well, it will ruin the whole project. Even if your role is just helping us to drag a wire, even if your role is just helping us to post on social media that we're going to be having a meeting of the Vet Connect champions, you not doing that is a hindrance to the success of that project that we have planned. You understand? Always ensure you speak with your team. For that project that I started with as a story, I remember here we raised committees. Now we give clear duties so that you will be able to, if you are a team lead here at any point, everyone is a leader here. If you will be working with a team anytime and leading a team, one thing you have to learn to do is to give clear-cut responsibilities to the members of your team. All right. Because without clear-cut responsibility, there will be no accountability. So tell them what they need to do specifically. Don't assume that they know. All right. So here, for instance, we gave a committee uniform. There was a committee for uniform. There was a committee for food. There was a committee for publicity. There was a committee for technical and media. There was a committee for decoration. There was a committee for welfare. So everything clearly stated out. Every single thing clearly stated out. Even the order, as structured as that event was, I think that was like one of the most successful events that we had hosted from 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 till that 20. That was like one of the most successful because we strategically sat down and took it as a major project and planned for it. All right. So another thing we also did again was we ensured that every single day of the event, it was we structured the way. I wish I could just share the photo with you, but it's almost impossible to do from this end. So everyone responsible for everything was stated there. Who was in charge of photography, who was in charge of the projector, who was in charge of whatsoever instrument, everything was stated there. And another thing that just pay attention to this, please. Another thing we also did in the course of that event, I can still see the date here, July 20th, Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. So one of the things we also did, I actually sat down and thought of it. What will make this event successful? That's another thing you should also do. When trying to solve a problem or when trying to work on a project, sit yourself down and ask yourself, what will make this event successful? So for instance, I stated my own, there are different projects. So one thing cannot work for every single project. All right. One formula or one structure will not work for all projects. But think about it this way. For instance, the one I wanted to do was an event that required bringing people together. All right. So I listed out what are the necessities for the success of this event. Number one, finance. So how do we intend to get finance? I said this can be actualized by if leaders and members pay their levies and if financial support comes in from appropriate sources. I stated that and I stated how we intended to get it. Support staff, including singers, teachers, instrumentalists, people for social media, and the rest. This can be possible by constant reminders through calls and messages. Everything I'm saying to you here now is written in a book, which I'm holding right now. And we did this like 4 years ago, 2020, right? Good music, active participation from leaders. Another thing, punctuality. Punctuality, they say, is the soul of business. If you are going to be organizing any project or solving any problem that will require you and other people to do it, punctuality must be one key ingredient in that setting, in that project. Punctuality, whether punctuality in doing the project on time or people coming there in time or something. So ultimately, it is good because you can plan all you can, but it can still go sideways, like we mentioned in the beginning of the training. So order and organization. Another thing that I mentioned would be the advantageous to this project was order and organization. That's basically people not to move up and down and things like that. And that will be handled by the protocols, the ushers and things like that. Then I also mentioned here that leaders are supposed to be at the hall by 4 p.m. The event is meant to start by 5 p.m. But every leader is meant to be at the event by 4 p.m. If you, as a leader of a team lead, if people don't see you taking action or doing what you ask them to do, trust me, you are just digging a pit for yourself. Right? They will not be able to connect with you because you don't show them the way. According to what's this man, John Maxwell, Dr. John C. Maxwell, he said leaders are not people that show people. They are not people that only show people the way. They are people that go the way. So when your people see you going the way, they have no other choice than to follow. So if you say they should be there by 4 p.m., for instance, you yourself be there even before 4. They will have maximum and utmost respect for you, knowing that you also do what you say. I hope we are following. If we are following, you can drop emojis, you can unmute to say yes, so I know that we are not talking, I'm not talking to just myself here. Are we following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right. Moving forward, I
Yes.
also mentioned here in this plan that we were doing that any person taking a role in the event for that day, either a member or a leader, must be in the event hall by 4 p.m. The time of grace is 4:15. So that's me structuring how I want that project to look like. Timing, giving timely, because you can't just say just come anytime you like, just come. At least you say come before 5. Shall I just try to come before that? Come before 5 that you have mentioned. It means you have licensed people to come by past 5. But when people come around earlier, it makes it easy for you to settle everything. This happens for all projects, any project at all. For instance, this meeting we had today is a project. And I know for a fact, because I also was here, we had to be on this call from 7:50 or even before 7:50, so that we'll see if the screen will work, if we can share screen, if the audio will work and things like that. So ensure that time is important in your project that you are planning. It's utmost. Another thing I said, I noted out, I said, do the majority of things you have to do before leaving home. Then another thing, I think it was during the rainy season. So I also stated it here in the plan. There's a part of it we'll get to in this place. That's identify problems before they identify you. I also stated it here. All right. Identify problem before they identify you. Oh, sorry, I moved the slide. So identify problems before they identify you, as I mentioned here. Think of anything that can go wrong and then think of the alternatives. Think of alternatives, solutions. So I mentioned here, I said, have in mind at all times that this is rainy season, so be prepared at all times. This is the plan in that project that we're doing. It was written here. And the day we came for a leaders meeting, I read this out to every of my team member and every of the what you call floor member, that's people who are not leaders. Now, I read this out to everybody so that everybody will be aware of what we are doing, of what this project is about. Everybody's role is clear. Everybody knows when we are coming, what we are doing. They say assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. Don't assume. All right. Don't assume that people already know what they should be doing. Don't assume that people are supposed to have come for this meeting today or for this event. That's assumption. Did you reach to them personally? Did you go to their DMs and say, oh, or did you share it among the leaders and say, okay, you reach out to 10 people. I'll reach out to 10 people. This one reach out to 10 people. Ensure that you DM them and tell them to come for tonight's event. That's project management. That's planning. You get it? That's you giving clear instructions as to what people should do. All right. Then another thing in managing problems effectively or solving problems is manage your emotions regardless how the project is going. This is key. If you can still hear me, please let me know. Or rather, if you can't hear me, just indicate at any point. So I'm not just talking to myself. If you can't hear me at any point, you can indicate. So manage your emotions regardless how the project is going. Trust me, no matter how you plan, there's a quote by if you've read this book, The Psychology of Money, there's a quote by Morgan Housel there. I don't know exactly how he put it, but I can paraphrase it. So he said, the best part of a plan is planning for your plan not to go as planned. If you are still with me on the call, can you indicate? Can you drop your emojis or can you unmute and respond? I don't know if the network is still okay and if you can hear me.
Yes,
sir, we can hear you.
network is fine.
All right, awesome. So Morgan Housel said in that book that can you please unmute? Okay. Sorry, I mean mute rather. The best part of a plan is planning for your plan not to go as planned. That means you have to always have alternative backup. For instance, in this meeting we are in, me as the person speaking, I have to have an alternative backup. For instance, what if as I'm speaking right now, my system goes off? Vet Connect, your mic is on. Can everyone hear me now? Okay, let me move further now. Okay, so I said identify the problem before they identify you. I've lost the thought I was building on just now. All right. So manage your emotions regardless of how the project is going. All right. I was saying that project, no matter how good you plan it, all right, the best part of a plan is planning. If you have something to note down, please note that. I know you have been noting other things. Note this down. The best part of a plan is planning for your plan not to go as planned. All right. You may be thinking one way, this project, we are finished work. Everything is in order. Like I said that day, that was one of the best projects we had organized. Money was surplus to do what we had to do. We rented good instrument. When we started playing that day in the morning, the instrument got burnt. The speaker got burnt, rather. So always have alternatives. We could be on this call now, my laptop can just go off. It's very possible. I have to quickly switch to my phone. If you are in, for instance, you are in an interview is also a project. All right. Anything that requires that will have an end result is a project. Basically, you are in an interview and you know that where you are in, sometimes the network shakes. It's MTN or Glo. I don't know which one is the best network now, but sometimes Glo can be Scoco. So your Glo network shakes, for instance. Have a plan to quickly switch to your other network. If it's MTN or Glo, if your phone accepts two SIM, have plans. In fact, recharge the other plans. You get it? You know that NEPA you are in Nigeria, you know what NEPA can do. NEPA can frustrate you at any time, and you are having an online event like this, and your face has to show, and your shoe to shine. You know what I mean? Your face has to be visible instance. Or so ensure that you have backup plans. Or if they see the light, generator will be on, for instance. Or if the light, I have a lamp that will be facing me, for instance, just in that light. So all okay. Can you see my screen now? Can you hear me? I was logged out again by network.
Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. We can see the screen, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. So now moving forward. So lastly, I said if needed, have a clear proposal. If for instance you are going to the market, it does not require proposal. So that's why I'm saying if needed, have a clear proposal. That just requires you to plan, to write something down. You want to do something like veterinary, the biggest gathering of veterinary medical students in Nigeria. That's a huge project, all right? That requires proposal where you write the executive summary, you write the budget, you write the what else now? You write the project deliverables, what you are expecting to get out of the project. You write what the partners will be getting. You ask for partnership pictures, right? That's when the project. Okay, so I believe my screen is back on now. I was just kicked out again. I don't know what's going on. So these are the tools digital tools, some of the digital project management. So Gmail, you can always reach your teams by connecting via Google Meet. For instance, as an option, instead of using Zoom as we are using right now, we could have opted to use Google Meet. All right. Then another thing is Google Drive. Google Drive, you can have, let's say, pictures or what you want to do, proposals and all that. You could have them on the Google Drive and share with your team members. Another thing, you can have Google Forms to create forms for people to what's it called now, to register for the event. These are all digital tools for project management. You could also have Google Slides. These slides I designed them using Google Slides today, not what's it called now, not the traditional Microsoft. You could also have Google Doc. Google Doc is very important. I believe every one of us here on this call will understand how to use Google Docs. Google Docs basically gives team members access to collaborate on the same file, the same document at the same time. You can type what you want on it. I can type what I want on it, so long as we have been given access to edit it. And then the other one there is Trello. Trello is a project management app. There's another one, Asana, and there are quite a number of them. Right? Trello, I've used Trello. I currently use Trello. Trello helps teams to get their tasks done. You can state the task that everybody has to do there on Trello. You can cancel out the task once you have done them and things like that. So it gets better. So I'm rounding off here, knowing that we're in a digital world. Whatsoever project you are currently doing always requires for you to add digital to it. For instance, once I think of an idea, I have more than two projects. I have at least two projects running in my mind right now that we're going to be organizing with Youth to the Future Initiative, UP17, and even my personal project. Instantly, I went to Google Doc, quickly typed them out, typed the proposal, and I started sending to those who are the what we call the stakeholders that will make that project to work out. All right, always consider your stakeholders also, and then consider using digital tools. Then finally, before I drop the mic, as I would say, as though I am in a physical stage now, before I drop the mic, Vet Connect is a project. The idea was birthed by Dr. Shadrach, and every other person here is running with the idea that he has created. So I know you are not the originator, but the way you treat the project will determine how you also treat other projects that you are involved in. If you take it with laxity, trust me, you are just developing a habit of taking projects with levity. So if you have your own personal project, that's how you may end up also doing it. All right. Take it with all seriousness. If you are given a task, a role to play, ensure that you do so. All right. Do so knowing that you are a smaller part of a big community. All right. So thank you. Vet Connect champions. Do we have any questions?